Hey dudes, Hardcore Dude here. Hardcore enough to review It's the 15-year anniversary! Oh yeah, back in June of 2009, I had just graduated from high school and decided to get into that whole internet movie reviewer craze that was taking off around that time. Everyone I knew was using some silly gimmick, so I named myself the Hardcore Kid, whose gimmick was that of a teenage edgelord that was into everything animation and rock and roll. And also because that was the most random name I could come up with at the time. I've been up, I've been down, take my word, my way around, but I still had fun doing it. Just not as much fun these days. Between Blip shutting down, Channel Awesome dying a slow, painful death, and the rise of that whole anti-woke grifter cult, the whole thing has been just a complete mess. Although apparently now they've all been cursed by a Sonichu medallion? Yeah, it's a long story. Which leads me to the subject of today's review, because do you want to know another genre that's completely lost its grace? Parody movies. Let's start off with a classic example from 50 years ago. In 1974, comedy legend Mel Brooks released Young Frankenstein, a comedy horror film that parodied the 1930s Frankenstein films. It had funny dialogue, tremendous performances from Gene Wilder, Peter Boyle, and Marty Feldman, and also managed to be a clever little follow-up to the original films. Since then, there's been many parody movies of the such, including Airplane, Hot Shots, and my personal favorite, the Austin Powers trilogy. Sure, it kind of ran out of steam halfway through Goldmember, but you know what? Filmmakers are just fucking boobs, Ozzy. At the turn of the century, the Wayans brothers, Marlon, Keenan, and Sean, decided to throw their hats in the ring and create their own parody movie, aptly titled Scary Movie. While past films were a bit more loose in what they were parodying, Scary Movie's gimmick was that it directly lifted characters and story elements from other franchises like Scream, Halloween, and I Know What You Did Last Summer, and threw them all together into this weird stoner setting for laughs. The series would last for 5 movies, and they were hit and miss at best. There's some jokes that worked, and some that really haven't aged well with time, and as time went on, the quality dropped pretty heavily. And while some may blame Sean and Marlon for some of the bad jokes, I wouldn't put all the heat on them because they were not the only writers on that film. Enter Aaron Seltzer and Jason Friedberg, also known as Seltzerberg. Next to Uwe Boll and Ed Wood, these two hacks are known for directing some of the worst reviewed movies of all time. They tried to do the same formula as Scary Movie with Date Movie, Epic Movie, and Meet the Spartans, but with about 50 times the references and 0% of the laughs. Their movies are so bad that virtually none of them have kissed double digits on Rotten Tomatoes. But of all the shitty movies they've made, why am I reviewing Disaster Movie? Because it's the only one I have seen in full. Here's the story. So, back in 2010, I was on vacation with my folks in St. Martin, and while I was down there, I was also editing my smegged up YouTube failure list, you know, the one that had Fred and Chris Chan and everybody on it. And about halfway through editing, I decided to take a break, and I decided to watch the TV that they had going on in the room, and the TV only had 7 channels. Yeah, really. Great vacation, huh? No TV? Good lord. So the movie was on, and I decided to give it a watch, and after it was done, I wanted to kill myself. Ugh. Like, you know how you're watching a comedy and you're laughing the whole time? I was watching the movie and I was screaming, "Fuck you!" the whole time. Yeah, that's how bad it was. But you know what? It's been 14 years. I've reviewed abortions like Not Cool and Where the Dead Go to Die. Could this disaster of a movie really be considered one of the worst of all time? Well, if I'm going down this rabbit hole, you guys are going down with me. And I'm also doing it in 3D! Yeah. Well, I hope you guys are ready, because this is Disaster Movie. Roll the footage. The movie begins in 10,000 BC, I'm sorry, 10,001 BC, where we see a caveman running from a woolly mammoth, only to get a face full of shit. Not even 2 minutes into this movie, and it has already set the stage for what we are to expect for the next hour and a half. The caveman is named Will, played by Matt Lanter. If his name sounds familiar, he's the voice actor for Anakin Skywalker in most of the Star Wars cartoons. Hey, if Jeremy Lee can star in a Shane Dawson movie and still have a successful voice acting career, there's hope for anybody. You know, I was an extra in a movie that starred Justin Long and Fran Drescher. Yeah, there's no hope for me. Oh, the movie was called After Class, by the way. Speaking of no hope, here's a name you're going to be seeing a lot in this movie. Ike Barinholtz of Mad TV fame, playing Wolf from Gladiators because reference. This is not the only role he has in this movie, as he plays 7 characters throughout this whole thing, including Hellboy and Batman. Yeah, there's a lot of Mad TV alumni in these films, and a lot of them didn't have the same kind of success that Key and Peele did. By the way, Bobby Lee, Mr. Uh-oh hot dog, go to jail, do not pass go, do not collect $200. After jousting Wolf for whatever reason, Will runs into an Amy Winehouse cave girl.
Piss off! You don't want to mess with a bitch straight out of rehab.
Given that Amy Winehouse actually died of alcohol poisoning 3 years after this movie, yeah, this joke aged like bad schnapps. So using her prehistoric Apple laptop, Winehouse tells Will that on August 29th, 2008, the apocalypse will hit and the whole world will be coming to an end. Ironically, that's the date of this movie's release, and yeah, she's not wrong. I think comedy died a death after this thing hit theaters. Are you done? Okay, so let's... Now, as I was saying... I hope you guys all enjoy jokes that are stretched out to incomprehensible lengths, because that's what most of the jokes in this movie are going to be throughout this whole thing. So Winehouse shows Will the crystal skull, which isn't even crystal. It's clearly bronze, or in this case, 3D printed bronze. And for whatever reason, Will freaks out, and then it's all revealed to be a dream. We see him in his bed with his girlfriend Amy, and...
What the? Flavor Flav! Yeah, boy!
Oh yeah, naked Flava Flav. Gotta get all those references in, eh? So Will is with his girlfriend Amy, played by Vanessa Lachey. Lachey. Sadly, seeing her in lingerie is not enough to save this movie. Oh, and there was a fidget in the bed too. What, was Eric the actor too club-fucking-footed for this movie? Ank. So Will, the 25-year-old, throws his Sweet 16 party. And this is where the whole parody gimmick really spirals out of control. For the next 10 minutes, it's just non-stop references with no jokes in sight. We get the hottie and the naughty, hairy girls gone wild, a fake Dr. Phil, because I guess after Scary Movie 4 he was too dignified for this movie, Superbad, Ike as the guy from No Country for Old Men who kills somebody for some reason, and last but not least, Seltzerberg regular Carmen Electra as the beautiful assassin. There's a lot more, but, I can't even...
I am liver.
Stop saying that! God, you're such a douche!
Putting aside the fact that doing parodies of comedies is a dumb idea to begin with, but there is just no reason to have these parodies at all. They don't tell any jokes, they're just stealing them from other movies and making references to other stuff that's, I guess, their way of saying, hey, I know what that's from, and then they just go on their way. It's like if Pooh's Adventures is throwing a rave. Somewhere in this mess, we're introduced to our supporting characters, Will's friend Calvin, played by Gary G. Thang Johnson, and his girlfriend Lisa, played by Hollywood cancer Kim Kardashian. Oh, but if a Kardashian in your movie wasn't painful enough, we also get Krista Flanagan as Juno. Or no, I'm sorry. Junie, whose gimmick, aside from being heavily pregnant, is making cultural references like your typical internet reviewer. So basically, it's just the same character as it was in Juno. This isn't a parody, it's plagiarism!
Your sarcastic teen who talks like she's 30.
Oh, and apparently she's a fan of Jeff Jarrett. Probably his only fan. Speaking of wrestling references, for no reason whatsoever, we get a fantasy sequence of Kim Kardashian and Carmen Electra facing off in a wrestling ring, and it makes Sharmell and Jenna Maraska look like Okada and Kenny Omega. Oh, a nice WCW Divas sign back there. Okay, first off, WCW never actually had a women's division, unless you want to include Daphne and Medusa as the Cruiserweight champions, but WCW had been dead for 7 years at this point. So, if this was Seltzerberg's attempt at making a reference or a mockery of WCW, yeah, I think Vince Russo did enough of that already. Oh my god. Oh my god! I just had a horrible thought. Could you imagine if Seltzerberg teamed up with Vince Russo? The amount of hell that would be unleashed. I'm shaking right now. See, look, I got the shakes. Seeing Will is having infidelity issues with Amy, Calvin tries to cheer his best friend up with a High School Musical parody. Why? Because High School Musical was the biggest disaster of Disney at that time? Oh wait, that was Camp Rock. Sorry, I got that wrong. Whatever. But despite all these parodies, what the hell does any of this have to do with disaster movies? If you check the Wikipedia page for this thing, it shows a huge list of most, but not all the parodies in this thing. And out of over 60 parodies, I shit you not, I counted maybe 3 or 4 that are actual disaster movies. The Day After Tomorrow, Twister, and World Trade Center. Ooh, so I guess this means this movie's better than Turning Red, eh? But wait! An actual disaster is now occurring. It's the end of the world as we know it, and I hope these assholes don't feel fine. Will, Calvin, Amy, and Junie go outside to see the city being hit by the fakest looking asteroids imaginable, and what's this? Oh no! Hannah Montana got crushed! Damn it! Now she'll never get to play with Metallica!
Goodbye, all my fans! Keep rocking!
Oh yeah, get your plug in while you're dying. You ain't making any money in the afterlife, twerky.
Also, remind your parents to pick up your official Hannah Montana lunchbox.
Oh, just die already, you wig-wearing hack. You were never talented to begin with.
And let me just say...
Oh my fucking god! Just die already! You are beating this horse so dead that even the kids are sniffing the glue. Where's Hancock when you need him?
Hey, Hancock. Wake up, you drunk motherfucker. Get your punk ass up, fly down there and fix that shit. Asshole!
Did this movie just predict the Will Smith Oscar slap 14 years in advance? This movie's haunted. As the Day After Tomorrow effects get worse and worse, our heroes hide out in an empty warehouse where they meet the cast of Sex and the City. But here's a swerve. Carrie isn't actually played by Sarah Jessica Parker. It's, Keffels. Hey, don't look at me. I didn't write this thing. The foursome tell our heroes to get out because there's no room for everybody. You're in a warehouse, not a Marriott. But then Junie is like, I'm like the one transitioning and you're not. And they proceed to have a shitty catfight scene that ends with...
Smell it.
I don't think that's how that works.
I think my water's gonna break.
I really don't think that's how that works. What's that? You want more references? Okay, here's a random dream sequence where Will imagines he's Hayden Christensen's character in Jumper, jumping around and looking up Amy's skirt. The voice actor of Anakin in another Christensen role? Careful, movie, you're almost being clever.
Here to save Narnia. He's the guy who ruined Star Wars.
Oh, come on, Ike. The Clone Wars cartoon wasn't that bad. It gave us Ahsoka. So the next day, Will calls Amy, who is revealed to be at the Museum of Natural History looking after the artifacts. Will decides they have to go back and rescue her. I'd say Will and Amy's relationship is the one good thing about this movie, but even that's a stretch. They don't have chemistry. Neither of them have gotten their acting chops yet, and considering the movie is written by two self-admitted incels, do you really think they know anything about writing romance stories? Right as I say that, Kim Kardashian gets killed by an asteroid. Yay! Anne is about to be replaced by Giselle from Enchanted. Boo! I'll be honest, I was never the biggest Enchanted fan, but I will admit Amy Adams did do a good enough performance as Giselle that her character was likable in her naivety. Nicole Parker is not Amy Adams. Her character is portrayed as 1,000 times more annoying and 1,000,000 times more stupid. Also, isn't Enchanted supposed to be a self-parody of Disney princess movies? So basically, they're doing a parody of a parody. Are you kidding me right now? Dude, when I am pining for Kim Kardashian over this, you know you done goofed. So anyway, Calvin ends up falling in love with Giselle, but then Prince Edward shows up and challenges Calvin to a duel for her holy ass. What kind of duel? A dance duel, fool! I'm trying to think which song number is a bigger waste of time. This, or the Giants of Jive song number in that Freddy as FR07 movie I reviewed like 15 years ago. Remember that? I came up with some weird meme out of it. Something about Freddy Krueger taking over the world or something. Yeah, good times. Oh, and Giselle's not a one-time joke. She's in it for the whole second half of this movie. Fuck. Then suddenly, the movie remembers it's supposed to be a disaster movie and unleashes a crappy CGI tornado. Damn it all, I keep telling you Tornado didn't cheat! Razor deserved to lose! But fear not, here comes Iron Man to... Wait. Rewind that. Rewind, induce amnesia. You couldn't even get the effects right? Where the heck did all the $20 million go towards? All the movies you ripped off? Oh, and if you thought that joke sucked, they repeat it 2 more times in the same scene. Once with Hellboy, and again with the Incredible Hulk. Because when the joke doesn't work the first time, just keep doing it again and again and again. So our heroes eventually make it to an abandoned mall where Calvin tries to answer his shoe phone, only to get dog shit on his face. For your guys' sake, I am going to skip the part where he rubs the dog shit on his face, because that also goes on for another 2 minutes. Oh, and by the way, if you watch the end credits scene and they show bloopers, he has gum on his face instead of the dog shit, which... it wouldn't have been laugh out loud funny, but I wouldn't be cringing like I am right now. Hey, do you guys want to see a gross out joke that is recent but is actually funny? Watch this.
Oh, duck cake.
What happened?
Nothing.
Why are you hopping?
I peed on my foot.
Ah! Why did you pee on your foot?
I wasn't paying attention.
Why not?
I was trying to pull a nose hair out.
You've got hairs in your nose? That's disgusting.
Welcome to middle age, kid.
Ah! What are you doing now?
What's it look like? I'm washing the pee off my foot.
But that's the laundry tub.
So?
It's not for washing pee off your foot.
Well, it is now.
Ah! This is outrageous.
That was a scene from the Australian cartoon Bluey from 2022. And it's still funnier than any of the crap in this movie. You boomers need to start picking it up. Anyway, back to this masterpiece, and oh no! It's the DeVilles. You know, it's funny how these two nudniks managed to plagiarize everything known to man, whether it be characters, movies, even costumes, and yet they can't even get the colors of the Chipmunks' sweaters right. That's an impressive level of failure that I didn't even think would exist. And if one Chipmunk song wasn't annoying enough, they do 2 more songs, including a god-awful puke metal number that goes on for so long that the Chipmunks suddenly go rabid and start attacking everybody. Remember in my Alvin Meets the Wolfman review when I said that anybody could voice the Chipmunks? Behold Exhibit F! I wish I was watching Alvin Meets the Wolfman right now. Broken Theodore was so entertaining. Real talk. Oh, here we go. Just when you thought this movie couldn't possibly get any more tasteless, the Chipmunks all attack Junie, and in a scene that would make Superboy Prime frown, they devour her, killing both her and her unborn child. You know, maybe it's a good thing that this wasn't made by Jimmy Screamer Claus, because I guarantee they would show them devouring the fetus. What do you mean there's a deleted scene?
But I do have this terrible headache. Head on, apply directly to the forehead. 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 I just did. I said head on, bitch. Apply directly to the forehead. Now, don't come slut.
Apply directly to the forehead, huh?
Directly to your goddamn forehead.
Apply directly to my goddamn forehead? You want me to apply directly to my goddamn forehead? Okay, here I go! Gentlemen, I'm mortified. I'm at a loss for adjectives. Why do I put myself through this shit when I'm not even making money off of it? You know why I'm not making money off of it? Because YouTube demonetized my channel for reused content. Reused content? Reused content? This movie is reused content. This whole thing, it's all copyrighted footage that was in a theater and made actual money. Are you friggin' kidding me right now? I can't fucking do this shit anymore. Screw it. Where's my hat? Fine. Ow, my head. Oh, goddamn, it hurts. It hurts. I'm gonna finish this fucking thing, even if it kills me. Which it probably will. Oh, so the crew decide to hijack Speed Racer to get to the museum. This would have been a good idea for a Grand Theft Auto parody, but no. Giselle just throws him out of the car and shoots him 100 times, and it goes on for 2 more minutes. Folks, the movie is stalling. The movie is stalling so that I can actually make it to 90 minutes. If you actually bothered focusing on anything, plot, story elements, anything than just making references for 10 minutes, you wouldn't be stretching things out like bad candy in the sun. Oh, and reusing jokes from your other movies doesn't work either. How many Michael Jackson parodies are you gonna do in all your movies, you kid-diddling hypocrites? So anyway, they make it to the museum where they find Amy stabbed through the shoulder by a fallen statue. They try to rescue her by...
I was just trying to knock her unconscious when she wouldn't feel any pain.
This isn't funny!
How am I just using that clip now? They eventually manage to free Amy, whose wound magically disappears, and then she pulls the not crystal skull out of her cooch.
Crystal skull. The one from my dreams.
Jones.
Now, legend has it that if the crystal skull is missing from the altar, it's the end of the world. Earthquakes, asteroids, return of the Spice Girls. Yes!
And you know all this shit because you the dulcet at the museum.
No, because I saw Indiana Jones in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Wait. You had that thing on you this whole time. You knew about it, and you didn't bother going to the altar? What the hell were you doing that whole time before you got stuck, you stupid person? Why is this still going on? Anyway, because we haven't had a parody in about 2 minutes, it's time to throw in a Night at the Museum bit with all the artifacts coming to life. Also, seeing a Robin Williams parody just makes me feel sad. So Will and Amy head to the altar where they run into, you guessed it, Ike Barinholtz, now playing the naked Beowulf.
I am Beowulf.
Can you put some clothes on?
I am Beowulf.
Can somebody reboot Ike? I think he got into Artie's stash again. Also, why is Beowulf evil in this movie? He's supposed to be a conquering hero. Why would he want the world to end? He banged Grendel's mom, didn't he? Cut to Calvin and Giselle trying to escape this madhouse, only to run into Po from Kung Fu Panda, and oh my god, what is wrong with your face? And why is he evil too? Is there some kind of demonic possession going around? Like, what the hell is going on with this movie? So we get another shitty choreographed fight scene between Calvin and Po, with Calvin eventually coming out on top. So it looks like he and Giselle will live happily ever after, yes?
You a dude?
I'm a tranny. I thought you knew.
I'm sorry, I need my candy cane. Look, kids, I got candy! You already did a tranny joke, you lazy, no good, scum, rotten, piece of shit, motherfucking, unborn child getting eaten by chipmunks killing. Alex is doing this shit, you fucking. I'm done, dude. I'm so fucking done right now. Oh, and they get killed by Po because fuck everything. So after defeating Beowulf, Will and Amy make it to the altar, where they run into Mini Indiana Jones, played by Tony Cox. It's here where it's revealed that Indy is actually Will's father.
Thanks, son. That's right. I'm your father.
So Darth Vader's dad is an Ewok? Makes more sense than Palpatine being a clone, I guess. So it should be easy to just put the skull on the altar, right? No. These guys have to get their shit in. Worried about booby traps in a museum, Mini Indy tries swinging over the room with the whip, only to get caught in a ceiling fan and launched right out a window. You know, Tony Cox has been in a lot of bad movies, but more often than not, he was like the best part of them. Even he can't save this thing. Will does the same trick, but manages to land it and puts the skull on the altar, saving the world from destruction. Oh, and Amy just runs across the room with no issue. This is like the only joke in this movie that actually got a chuckle out of me. And it's an hour and 15 minutes too late. And so the movie ends with a wedding between Will and Amy featuring the Love Guru. Oh, fuck me, I forgot that movie came out that year too. And somehow that won Worst Picture over this? Was 2008 just the death year of comedy or something? And the movie ends with a shitty cover of Sarah Silverman's I'm fucking Matt Damon! And mercifully, the movie ends. Except it doesn't, because the last 10 minutes is a slow credits roll showing bloopers and alternate takes from the movie. The box says that this thing is an hour and 27 minutes. Yeah, that's a complete lie. The movie actually ends at around the hour and 16 minute mark, and then the rest is just the credits. So, now you know why all the jokes in this movie were so stretched out. It's because if everything had been chipped down, this thing would not have kissed the 1 hour mark. This movie sucks. -5 stars. Okay, look. Where the Dead Go to Die is utter degenerate CSEM horseshit, but it was made by a pothead in his mom's basement messing around with Cinema 4D. This abomination, on the other hand, was a professionally made production from Lionsgate, released in theaters nationwide. People paid money to see this. And by money, it earned a whole $34 million on a $20 million budget. That's almost as much of a waste as buying all of Donald Trump's bullshit gold shoes and fake Bibles. Negatives? Are you kidding me? Everything. It's been told many times before, but directly copying jokes from other movies aren't jokes. Throwing in a bunch of obvious characters from other properties without a semblance of a joke is not a parody, it's plagiarism. Repeating jokes constantly kills the joke, and stretching them out for 2 to 5 minutes just cremates any chance for a laugh. The story. They try to force this romantic subplot between Will and Amy, filled with infidelity and other subtext, but it doesn't work. And the whole disaster movie plot, what fucking disaster movie? The movie barely has anything to do with disasters. Sometimes there's earthquakes, sometimes asteroids, but for the most part, nothing is happening, since most of the movie takes place indoors. Most of the time, it barely feels like the apocalypse is happening. You see a lot of scenes, and there's maybe some fires in the background and some debris here and there, but it just looks like an average day in New York City. The acting, there's one good performance here, and that's the character of Calvin. He seems like the only one who has any semblance of comedic timing, and everyone else just sucks. Matt Lanter was annoying. Kim Kardashian did nothing. Nicole Parker was horrific. What the hell was Krista Flanagan even doing? The movie was nominated for 6 Razzie Awards, but failed to win any of them. Even on the shit list, this movie is incapable of a W. Seltzerberg would continue to make more shitty parody movies, but once audiences finally got the idea, they decided, yeah, fuck this. The movie started bombing at the box office, and the studio has since gone belly up. I've seen a lot of bad movies, but this... Dude, look at me. This movie did physical harm to me. I'm a mess right now. And I don't even know what else to say. I have a script right in front of me, and I don't know what else to say. Oh, I know what to say. Wait a minute. If I hear anybody in the comment section say, oh, it's better than any of the woke crap today, shut the hell up. You know what the problem is? It's not wokeness that's the problem. It's you don't know how to tell jokes anymore. Like, for example, there's a sitcom on right now called Last Man Standing, starring Tim Allen and Jay Leno. And Tim Allen is supposed to be playing this conservative dad type, kind of like Al Bundy or, I guess you could say, Hank Hill. It's not funny. It's boring. I don't know if it's because of Tim Allen or the Nudniks writing that thing, but there's no laughs in this thing. I don't know how this has been keeping going for 9 seasons. Al Bundy, this guy is nut. So, I don't know what else to do. I can't believe I forgot about this. Do you want a parody movie that is funny and recent? Weird, the Al Yankovic story. Weird Al Yankovic, the king of parodies, making a spoof biopic of his life that has all the cliches and tropes of a rock and roll biopic, and it's one of the funniest comedies in years. And it's got Harry Potter playing Weird Al Yankovic. It's amazing. I mean, come on. If you want to make your own parody, learn from the best. Go weird and go wild. In the meantime, stay away from shit like this. Do not give these people your money, and just let them die off and never have them come back again. Hardcore tumor. Then, now, and forever. Wow. What can I say? That's gonna do it, folks. I hope you all enjoyed my suffering. Don't worry about me, I'm fine. 'Tis a flesh wound. And I want to thank you all for supporting me these 15 years. Good times, bad times, whatever. I'm happy you're still with me. I've been through a lot, but I'm still happy that I have my support. from all you guys. Until next time, I am now the hardcore dude. Peace out and cease. Catch you later, guys.